Scott, let's go riding in the Republic. Well, Scott, you and I jumped into Ubisoft's latest title, Riders Republic. Dude, this is the next iteration to the next level of what I think Steep was. Steep was a snowboarding game that was fantastic. Snowboarding, skiing. It was cool to go down these mountains and feel the rush. But dude, they took that rush and elevated it to 10 and put you in the world of extreme sports with Riders Republic. I am having an absolute blast playing this game. I feel like there's no end game to it. You just go out, collect stars, do more races, hook up with your friends, and keep going. It's like a rinse and repeat cycle.
Pretty much a lot of the X Games sports, not all of them, but a lot of them, and it kind of just gives you this never-ending tree of unlocking races. So you might think you're kind of tired of the bike racing downhill. You go, okay, there's trick, let's try that. You do some tricks. And then there's the same version but for snow. So you have the snowboard, ski, you can do tricks as well. But then it gets into a little bit of the strange with a rocket suit. There's just a normal wingsuit without the rocket power. So there's a whole lot of variety to this. So you think you're getting into it, you think you've got a grasp, but then you level up and more races come out.
Yeah, absolutely. I find myself getting lost at times though, Scott, because it is so big. Dude, this world is huge. I took my jetpack, skyrocketed right to the ceiling as far as I could go, what I thought I could go anyways, bail out to a parachute scenario, look around. Dude, I'm above the clouds, I'm above the mountains. Like, I couldn't believe how high up I could actually go in this game. And then from there, I just kind of almost fell to my death because I parachuted at the very last minute, save myself. But in the meantime, it took me about probably a good 3 minutes to get back to the ground as I'm free falling. Like, it was insane.
Yeah.
And just as high as the game is, it is just as wide, and there's so much to do and see. Dude, there's never a dull moment. This game is incredible, and one I'm pleasantly surprised that we're able to get into, and I fell in love with it. This game is fantastic.
Yes, it has so much to it in the ways of racing and just continuous challenge and progress, and the whole world is actually populated with other online players too. In sort of an MMO way, you can kind of just happen across these people, happen across races that are already in progress. That's a lot of fun. I like to be a bad guy on the racetrack that way. But there's a lot to the scope of this world.
I want to walk across this world. I'll see how long it takes to walk this thing, Scott. It'll take forever. Dude, it is so big. Ubisoft's always made a big map for whatever game they're working on. This one is huge, and it's got the verticality to go with it, right? Yeah. It's not flat. And the best part is it's so easy just to turn on a dime and flip into some other mechanic. Whether you're biking, you change out your bikes on the fly, you go into skiing, then you're snowboarding, then you grab your jetpack, your parachuting. Like, dude, you get a group of buddies and you're all in the same thing together. We had a ton of fun, Scott. We had a huge blast playing this game, and it's just meant for jumping in, having a fantastic time, goofing around, and there's challenges for you to do. Dude, the bike technical stuff can get real complicated.
Mega race, where you're able to jump from, you have to rather jump from one sport to another in middle of the race. So you'll go through a checkpoint and that'll flip you into the jetpack, and you'll again exit that trail and you'll, now I'm back on a bike. Okay, next leg of the race. It's really interesting that way. And one of the things that I wanted to mention with the technicality of the bike, there's actually a huge positive in there. It is difficult to kind of grasp, get used to the controls, but I've noticed that the physics all line up properly. In the skis, you kind of can rotate and then let it bite, and that turns you. Same thing with the bike. You let the back wheel spin out a little, and then you can catch it and keep on going.
That's the one thing they are missing, though, is the dirt bike. Really, it's just not there, right? That's the only thing I was like, oh, Scott would have loved that. I would have loved it. Maybe some DLC, Scott. We'll see.
Yeah, there's always hope for that. Longboard, please, and dirt bike.
Scott, there's one last thing I want to talk about, and that's one of the favorite things I love to kind of tamper with is the photo mode. It is definitely there. There's all sorts of things and just different angles, filters, settings. There's so much to kind of dive into that you can easily spend a few minutes, and it's good. And then it automatically goes up and shares for everybody to check it out. It's definitely a cool feature. For me overall, dude, Riders Republic from Ubisoft is one of my top titles this year. It is absolutely a blast to play. Everything feels so smooth and so dynamic when you're playing it. Everything just comes together. And when a game is such a large scale as this one is, with the infrastructure, with all the people, all the other gamers, and so much going on, it's really surprising to see how well this actually runs all at once, right? There's never any hiccups, no nothing. Dude, for me, this game is fantastic, and it puts me there with a 9.5. What about you?
Oh, I'm thinking very similarly. There's a huge amount to do in this game, and it's one of those ultimate kind of hangout games. If you have a couple friends in there, you can spend hours not even doing races. It's that interesting of a world. But the technical aspects of it, I think they absolutely nailed the physics and that. And there's just, again, a lot to get into and really settle your teeth into. And I really appreciated this game coming off of Steep. This is just, I used to call it Steep Summer Games. I'm taking that back. Riders Republic has its own place on the shelf, absolutely. I'm there with a 9.
Riders Republic is an extreme sports game done right. It's all hosted in a gorgeous online open world.